Hi guys, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining me today. And thank you to anyone who is watching the replay. Ettore, hello. I am using a new camera today, and I'm using the microphone that comes with the camera. So hopefully it's okay. Let me know what you think of the sound quality, please. And also, yeah, how are you? How's everyone doing today? I have just finished my daily lessons. Vitali, hello. So today, all right. Why is that not going up? Ah, there we go. Yeah, not bad, thanks. Well, actually, here's an expression for you, which you may or may not have heard before. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Put that in the chat. On the wrong side of the bed. Have you heard this before? What does it mean if someone wakes up on the wrong side of the bed? Ah, cool. Helen, thank you. Glad to hear it. Yeah, Hideaki, yes. In a bad mood, yeah. And I tried, when you wake up feeling that way, you sort of try to, I don't know, change the way you're thinking. But then things were just annoying me all morning. Aha. Let's see if I can pronounce this. Mit dem falschen Fuß aufgestanden. I don't know if that was accurate at all. Yeah, not in the right state of mind. Yeah, that's basically it. I was in a bad mood, and but one of the good things about teaching is that when you're in a bad mood, it makes you feel better. It's a distraction. Ah, thank you. Hope so. I did actually study German in school, but when I was like, the finished when I was 15 or 16. And I remember very little, unfortunately. Today, we're talking about pronunciation. So let's bring up the slide. This is a pronunciation drop-in. So what that means is that if you have a question about pronunciation, if there's a word that you're not sure how to say, pop it in the chat and I will do my best. For anyone who's new here, if anyone hasn't hasn't been here before, my accent is what we call is what we call modern received pronunciation. So this is important in terms of the way that I pronounce the letter R. And of course, there are many different ways to pronounce English, not just my way. West Country way of pronouncing it. Of pronouncing all right. All right? All right. Yeah, it probably was. Or London. All right, mate. This is something that I have discovered through watching Instagram reels that yeah, hello. Nice to see you here. From watching Instagram reels that, English people say all right as a greeting. It's like, how are you? How's it going? Hello. In America, they don't say that. So if like a Londoner, for example, someone from England says to someone from the USA, all right, they find it confusing. They're like, why are you asking me if I'm all right? Do I look like I'm not all right? Is there a problem? So that's yeah, it's very British to say, all right, but you won't hear that in North America, and it's confusing to people, which I thought was quite interesting. So I've only had actually one question so far in the chat, like before the class, and that was from Hideaki. The question was related to this letter combination. So I'm going to start by talking about that. And if there is a word that you would like, help with pronunciation, just put it into the chat. Okay. So you may be aware that this particular infamous letter combination can be pronounced in various ways. We're going to start with O. This is like the O in go, or the way we pronounce the letter O, A-E-I-O-U. So, and the first word that we've got here with this letter is furlough. Furlough. So this is when this happened a lot during COVID, during the COVID pandemic, where workers are temporarily suspended from work, usually due to economic conditions. So it's a verb and a noun, to be furloughed. So I was not furloughed during COVID. I continued teaching, but I lost about half of my students because at that point, half of my students were face to face. I used to go to their houses, and when we were locked down during the pandemic, half of them, they didn't want to go online. So yeah, I lost half my income. It was financially not a good time for me because that was before I was self-employed. So furlough. Ah, Manuel. Looks like I've stepped in dogs. Oh dear. I did not know that. Yeah. Got up with the left foot. Yeah, I most definitely got up with the left foot today. It's funny, we always seem to associate left with negativity for some reason. I don't know why. Strange. Yeah. Hi, Manuel. How are you today? How's it going in the beautiful Canaries? We have another one. So we've got furlough, dough, which you can see from the picture. I included an image here for those who aren't familiar with dough. Dough is what we use when we want to make bread or pizza. And it's also a kind of old-fashioned slang term for money. I need some dough, I need some cash. Although, and of course, though. So in all cases, our O-U-G-H is pronounced O. So Hideaki, does that clear things up for you? Furlough. Furlough. O-U-G-H can also be pronounced uff, like the uff in stuff. Enough. I've had enough, you might say. Rough. Rough. Cool. Glad to hear it. Glad to be of service. Furlough. Do I have you furlough to come in? Manuel, I don't understand. Furlough to come in. Yeah, I'm not clear on that. Rough is the opposite of smooth, and we also use it to say rough, not smooth. And in British English, it means like, when you're feeling bad. So, or looking bad, you might say, oh, we particularly use this when someone's hungover, and we say, um, oof, yeah, I feel rough today. Or, oh dear, mate, you look a bit rough. Like you don't look good. So, uh, interesting one there. Mhm. As in shed the sky. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, absolutely. So to slough off your skin. Ooh. If you get a sunburn, maybe, and your skin peels, then you might slough it off. Yeah. Or snakes slough their skin. There's some spiders as well, I think. Tarantulas. Yeah. Yes. Tough. You read my mind. Manuel, Tenerife. I don't forget. I don't forget. Mhm. So, enough, rough, tough, and slough as well. So, isn't it bizarre? I mean, that we pronounce OUGH in this way. It's, it doesn't look anything like it sounds. But that's, the joy of English. So we've got O and uff, and we've also got ow, like the ow in how. Bow. Included an image here because I thought, not everyone will know this word. Bow. Bow. So Vitali, this one I'm not familiar with. Like that would be bow, way that it's written phonetically there, but I don't think, does that exist in English spelled that way? I don't think so, but I'll check. So we've got bough, which is a bough is a tree branch. Yeah, large branch of a tree. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the only usage of that I see. Freddie, hello. How's it going? Freddie, your name changes like, I don't know, it changes a lot. So we've got bow and also plow, which is farm machinery. Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah, so let's talk about these. Not too shabby, glad to hear it. Anyone who isn't sure, not too shabby is something that British people very often say, as in, yeah, I'm fine, not too shabby, not too bad. It's a really nice expression there. I like it. Glad to hear it. Yes. So let's look. I'm just going to bring up my phonemic chart calculator. So now the first word is pronounced, it rhymes with the other words on the screen, like how, bow, and plow. So let's just put that now into the chat. Okay. So we've got now. How now? How now? Then we've got the other two words are actually both pronounced the same way. That is no and no. So let's put that O in the chat. No and no. Oops. Let me try that again. Because I just put the vowel sound and not the actual consonant. There we go. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So no and no are pronounced exactly the same way. No, like the O in go. So we've got now, as in how, now. And just so ow, now. Then the mouth kind of widens, ow, now. And then we've got no, no. The mouth is narrower. Oh. And for both words, it's the same. No, I don't know. Exactly the same. Yeah. Aha. Yeah, Vitaly, we're going to come to that one. That is on the list. Aha. Cool, cool. Yeah, so again, anyone wondering? That's what dogs do. They wag their tails like that. To wag your tail. Aha. You're welcome. Happy to help. So yeah, that's a common question that I get with that one. So we've got bow and plow. OUGH can also be pronounced off. Off, just like the word on and off, as in cough. Cough. Another peculiar pronunciation for the letter combination, isn't it? Cough. And also trough. And I've included the picture here because I think this word may be unfamiliar to some. A trough is, that long, narrow thing that animals eat out of. Yeah, pigs eat or drink. It might be filled with food or water for animals from a trough. Cough. Don't cough in the trough. And this is the most important sound in English. Does anyone know what this is called? Let me know in the comments if you know the name of this. Yeah. It's sort of back to the, as in peaks and troughs. Yeah. So we can use this word figuratively. Like a peak would be kind of a rise, and a trough would be a drop. Peaks and troughs, like in the stock market when it comes to finances or in sales or something like that. A sales peak would be a time when lots of people are buying, and a trough would be like a drop in sales. Peaks and troughs. It reminds me of my favorite film, The Big Lebowski. Strikes and gutters, ups and downs. Yeah. So, yes. So we're on fire. Hideaki, Alexander, and Vitaly, we've all got it. It's the schwa. The schwa. This is an important sound in English, particularly in British English, because it is the most common sound in English. It is the sound of unstressed vowels. So to make this sound, you adopt a neutral facial expression like this. As you can see, I don't look happy when I have a neutral expression. So your face is neutral, no smile, and then you open your mouth. This is the schwa, most common sound in English. So again, neutral face. Oh dear. I always end up laughing when I try to do that in classes, because I look so miserable when I'm not smiling, unfortunately. Yeah. So there's plow, which we've had that one, I think. Yeah, plow. So this is the in the. Yeah. It drives me crazy though, when I'm walking down the street, if I'm not actively smiling about something and I have that kind of. Sometimes people ask me, "Why do you always smile in your videos?" That's why. Because if I don't smile, I look like this. So if I'm walking down the street, in a hurry, and I'm like, and people will say, "Ooh, smile or cheer up," and it's annoying, but yeah, it's because I don't look happy. Um, we call this RBF, which is like resting bitch face. In other words, yeah, I don't look very approachable or very nice when not smiling. It's not that I'm unhappy, that's just my face. It is what it is. I was born that way. Yeah. So this word, let's come to this in a moment. I'll come back to this. So I'll just finish the schwa here. Okay, so words where OUGH is pronounced thorough, thorough, and also borough, borough. So there's a London tube station, a part of London, an area of London called Borough, with a famous market, Borough Market. And yeah, people always want to say like borough or something, which is no. Although I think in North American English they'd pronounce it they'd say borough. But yeah, in London it's borough, thorough and borough. Okay, so let's take a moment and just address a couple of these in the chat. So this one, work, work. And let's see, it's it's a long sound. So the mouth is kind of neutral. Again, it's a bit like the schwa. It's that. But instead of it's longer. It's work, work, work. What does work rhyme with? Work. Hmm. One thing's coming to mind, but it's not very nice. Work. Work. Da, 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 da. I mean, the vowel sound is the same as the vowel sound in like bird, for example. I saw a bird at work. Yeah. Uh-huh. And this difference between walk is the or, war. The L is silent. We don't pronounce the L. It's not walked, but or, like in door. And again, this is a British English thing because, well, and I say British English, it's a received pronunciation thing because there are different accents in England. So walk, walk, which rhymes with talk. Walk and talk at the same time. Walk, talk. And then we've got work, work. So they're both long vowel sounds in walk and work, but they're slightly different. And then fall, in fact, walk and fall actually have the same vowel sound. It's that long or, walk, fall, like in four, or even the number four. It's that same vowel sound there. walk, fall. And then full, full. This is a short vowel, the full, full. This is the like in book, book, in full, 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 book. Mouth kind of goes like a ook, uh, almost full, book. So full, a long vowel, and then full, short. Let's see, let's go back up because there was another one in here that I didn't want to miss. Aha. Yacht. Yacht. Which, to put the phonetic transcription, would be yacht, yacht, yacht. Where's my, oh, there we go. Got it. Yacht. Have you ever been on a yacht? If I were rich, I would like to have a yacht. That would be nice. As long as there was someone else to sail it for me and I'd just like relax. As long as schwa, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that like work, let's put the phonetic of work and also, yeah. So this is what it would look like with the phonetic transcription, that sound. It's like the in her, work, her. So I'm just going to move on with this and then we'll come back to a couple of things in the chat. So I just want to finish this OUGH. So OUGH can also be pronounced or. And here I want to just point out this thing that I keep banging on about with received pronunciation. So received pronunciation is non-rhotic. That means that we do not pronounce the letter R, except before a vowel sound, like round, for example. But so that means we don't pronounce the letter R at the end of a word. This accent is common in the south of England. Not so common in the west of England. Most North American accents are rhotic, so they wouldn't say or, they'd say or, which sounds unnatural when I say it. So this word thought, bought, brought, 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 bought, bought. Bought, for anyone who's not familiar with this, is the past tense and past participle of the verb fight. So we fought. And I think there's a one, oh yeah, ought. Ought. You ought to, which is like saying you should. You ought to. You should. And of course, when spoken quickly, you wouldn't say ought to. It would be more like oughta or oughta. Oughta. You ought to do that. You ought to do that. So to look at this sound a little bit more, kind of in received pronunciation, words typically that are written this way with AW or with OR, this sound tends to be pronounced OR. For example, door, more. But also, and people often ask me about these, saw, law. So it's not low or low, but law and raw. If something is raw, it is not cooked. Pawpaw. Exactly. At least I think that's how that fruit is pronounced. Yeah, pawpaw. And there's a bit of a difference here again between sort of the British pronunciation and what you might typically hear in the United States. Like their or is more of an ah sound. So like law in America sounds more like the la, which I find difficult to say. Raw fish, rather than raw for the British. So let's just whiz back up the chat and see if I've missed anything. Here we go. Development. I'll just put the transcription. So the emphasis is on the second syllable, development. Development. There we go. Again, so slowly. Development. 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 That ending there, the MENT, we don't say meant, it's always munt. Munt. Government, for example. So an interesting development. Had I a tail would be an unusual, unnatural use of inversion. Usual word order in the past perfect, as in had I been free yesterday, I'd have swung by. I see what you mean. Yeah, like if I had a tail, had I a tail? Yeah. It is I wouldn't call it unnatural, but it is unusual, certainly. Yeah. I would say. Had I a tail? It sounds rather posh, actually, to me. Had I? Had I? Yeah. See, most of the examples that come to mind with the inversion with had, I agree, it would be with the past perfect. Like, had I known, if I had known. If anyone is interested in this, I have a video all about inversion in conditionals. So yeah, perhaps the had I a tail is it is less common. You might hear it in spoken English. You probably wouldn't see it so much written. Yeah. Let's see. This one. Concur. Concur. Let's put that in the chat. Concur. 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 Here we go. So to concur is to agree. It's quite formal. You say, yeah, I concur, I agree. We're on the same page. Do you concur? And yes. You assume a neutral face. Assume a neutral face. Yeah, you can absolutely say that. Adopt a neutral face. Assume a neutral face. So, yeah, I find it so difficult to do it without laughing. Yeah. Mohammed, hello. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. Places certainly can be a challenge. Yeah. I've actually done a couple of videos on this topic. I think I did tube stations, London Underground stations, and do you know one that people often get wrong actually is London. I often hear people say London, but it's not. It is, I'll put the phonetic transcription. Yeah, you're right, Hideaki. Yeah, the don is actually a schwa, it's dun. London. London. We got that not on. London. London. London town. Yeah. And this one as well, yeah. Edinburgh. Bruh. Edinburgh. I'll pop that in the chat as well. Edinburgh. There we go. Edinburgh. I've never been to Edinburgh, but I've heard very good things about it. It's yeah, like they have the castle there, Edinburgh Castle. I think it's meant to be absolutely fabulous city. Ah, yeah, I missed that. That went over my head. And do I agree with your comment about it being a sort of unnatural usage? Well, not unnatural, but unusual. I would say yes, I do concur. I do. Let's just have a quick whiz back through the chat and see if I've missed anything. This is interesting. I'd. How to pronounce I'd and how to identify it. I have a video on this as well, but I will tell you now. So, yeah, I'd. Let's just pop the phonetic transcription in there. When you say how to identify it, do you mean like how to know whether we're talking about I would or I had? Because there is actually an easy trick to that. So I'd plus infinitive is I would. I'd plus past participle is I had. So I'd like a coffee. I would like a coffee versus, let's see, I'd already eaten, for example, would be like I had already eaten. Yeah. So it comes down to context. And when you're reading and you're confused, you're like, are we saying I would or I had? Look at the verb form that follows it. if it's a past participle, then what's gone on here? I've missed a space there. If it's a past participle, then it's I had. What do you do if it's one of these verbs that's the same in all forms, like put, 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 put? Context. Just, yeah, comes down to context. Do I know Oshu Rajneesh? No, I do not. I do not. Distinguish. Distinguish. Let's pop that in. Distinguish. Distinguish. To distinguish one thing from another is to make it seem different, or to be able to see the difference. Can you distinguish this from that? Can you see the difference? Distinguish. Aha. So, Alexander, the German pronunciation of London, is that with the on or the n? Hamza, hello. Pronunciation, yes, this is a very good point. We call the words like this minimal pairs, like ship and sheep. So the ship that sails and the sheep that goes, bah. That was a terrible impression of a sheep. Yeah, ship and sheep. Ship, sheep. So it's that short versus that long sound. Yeah, another one that's dangerous, of course, is bitch and beach. Bitch and beach. Can I have maybe I did a live stream on this topic before on minimal pairs. I think maybe I did. So that'll be in the live stream list with a whole load of them. Quite a long time ago, I think. Yeah. The Shires. Yeah. Lancashire. So it's typically shire, Lancashire, Oxfordshire, Leicestershire. Leicester causes all kinds of problems because it looks like Leicester, but it's not, it's Leicester. So Leicestershire. Leicestershire. Passion, hello. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us today. Leicestershire. Let's see what else. Yeah, this one. So we actually talked about this one last week. This to say it in the sort of Downton Abbey style, bottle of water. Bottle of water. But nobody says that, so nobody says that. Bottle of water. Well, I say nobody says that. Of course, some people probably do. But yeah, it's more natural. I say bottle of water. Bottle of water. So I do actually pronounce the t in water. Bottle of water. If you're saying it really quickly, the of just becomes a schwa, and it's like a bottler. Bottle of water. Bottle of water in London. Bottle of water. Me, bottle of water. Bottle of water. So, yeah, exactly. Hideaki, we've got the glottal stop. So we don't say t, bottle, but bottle. It's like when the vocal folds come together and sort of stop the sound before you make it. So rather than bottle, 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 water. My mum would shoot me if she heard me say water. She'd say, Emma, what is water? And I'd have to say, sorry, mum, water, water, bottle of water. The bears shit in the woods. Glottal T again. Glottal T. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know this expression, this means obviously or of course. Yeah. See, just check if I've missed anything else in the chat. No, I think I'm on top of it. Okay, cool. So let's get back on there. Let's have a couple of others. I've included this one because I hear this mispronounced a lot. So I thought I'd throw this in here just to show you how it should be said. AI. AI. And actually, when spoken quickly, we get a sort of a linking, I guess it's an intrusive yeah sound, really. So let's put that there. In fact, I need to add the emphasis, don't I? So AI. There we go. AI. AI, artificial intelligence. Because, of course, in many languages, it's the other way around, isn't it? It's like intelligence artificial. So you get this IA thing going on. But in English, AI. AI. Let's see. And another one that I wanted to whack in there. Speaking of AI, before we move on, for anyone who isn't aware of it, I recently created an AI version of me. So if you want to practice English with me, if you want to speak with me, you can try out my AI twin. So like M version 2. And yeah, the link is in the description if you want to try her out so you can chat with her. She sounds like me. She teaches a little bit like me too because she's been trained using all my materials. So yeah, try her out, AIM, and let me know what you think. I think she's fabulous. And unlike real M, she's there 24/7 to help you practice. Jesus, hello. Crashing this party. Nice to see you. So this the North American y'all. How y'all do? I love this. Y'all. Love it. You all. We don't say this in England, like y'all, but I think we should. I think we should adopt it. Ah, yeah. So relating to the AI twin, my endorsement there from Hideaki. So Hideaki, I know you're already using it and you like it. Yeah, she. I think of her as she. I do. No, true story. Unfortunately, AIM can't do a resting bitch face. Oh dear. Honestly, it's terrible. When I'm concentrating on something, like just when I'm sitting here and I'm working and I probably, like this is my unfocused face. Terrible. Terrible. Thank you, Helen. Yeah. What about how are you? Yeah, so relating to what Jesus said, like how y'all doing? How y'all doing? How are you? I would more naturally say, how are you? Or how are you? Rather than how are you doing or how are y'all doing? It's the y'all that's particularly American, like the you all. Like in Britain, we'd just say you and we wouldn't kind of add the all to it. But I like it. I think it's cool. Y'all. That might be my favorite, like, Americanism. Another one that I thought I'd include, because this is often mispronounced, is the social network that, many of us use. And that is, does anyone know how this should be pronounced? If you do, pop it in the chat. Pop it in the chat. Mhm. Yeah, pretty much, but it's not a d sound. And yeah, it sort of becomes one word, and it's actually a t, LinkedIn, LinkedIn, LinkedIn. So it's a funny one. Are you on LinkedIn? I don't use LinkedIn very often. As you can imagine, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and I don't have a lot of time for our fourth social network, but I do use it sometimes from time to time. I don't use Facebook anymore because my account got restricted. I can't get into my Facebook account because they introduced two-factor authentication, and whichever method I try, they want to send me a WhatsApp message, which is great, except that the WhatsApp linked to my Facebook account is from an old phone that I don't have anymore. So I can't access it, and it's impossible. Ah, Eugene, you're late to the party. So this was, I think, one of the first ones we had. So if you watch the replay, you'll see it, but I'll repeat it for you. Though, though. So though rhymes with go. Just put it oh, oh. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, though. Though is used a lot in English, in spoken English, particularly at the end of a sentence. So it's like but it's more flexible because we can put it at the end. Yeah. So Twitter, no. And to give you an example of though used at the end of a sentence, so I use YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I used to use Facebook, but I don't use, or maybe without the but, I don't use Twitter though. It's like saying, but I don't use Twitter. I don't use Twitter though. So, yeah. You nuked it? Why? Were you overwhelmed with too many social networks? You're looking beautiful though. Thank you. If that was directed at me, that's very kind of you to say. This is my new webcam I'm using today, which is very unforgiving, I think. Yeah. And the skin in my 40s is letting me down a little. Let's see. I think there was one or two more things that I wanted to show you. And remember, if you have a question about how to pronounce a word, pop it in the chat. So while you're thinking, words ending T-U-R-E. This is another one where I commonly hear mistakes, and the ending is pronounced ch. Culture, furniture, adventure, future. Yeah, future. So ch, culture, furniture, adventure, future. I don't know if you can think of any more to add to our list there. There are many, many words in English that end with ch. And I think there is just one more. Yeah. Lecture. Absolutely. A university lecture. Yes. Posture. Posture. Trying to reduce my social media footprint. That's a nice expression. Yeah. Yes, it is difficult to sort of appear on all the social networks. It can get a bit exhausting. Sculpture. Yeah, because you have like a different audience on each platform, and it can be hard to keep up with comments and whatnot. Sculpture. Sculpture. Nice. When I was a school kid, I enjoyed sculpting in art classes with clay. It was cool. Literature. Yeah. Sometimes people ask me how to pronounce this word. So I'll put the phonetic transcription of this one in the chat. It's an interesting one. Literature. So where's it? Literature. Mhm. Yeah. Literature. Mm. Rupture. Mm. Yeah, consolidated approach. That's much more sensible. I should probably take the time to figure that out. Acupuncture. Acupuncture. Mm. Oof, urgent assignment. I understand. Yeah. Life is busy, isn't it? It is busy. For sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another one that people often, hi, Angela. Another one that people often get wrong is temperature. Temperature. What's the temperature today? It's starting to get dark. It was cold this morning when that's one of the reasons I think that I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I was too cold. I didn't want to get out of bed, which put me in a bad mood. I've got temperature, suture. Yeah, nice. Sutures. Sutures are also known as stitches sometimes. Like, so if you have, like, if you have an accident, if you cut yourself and you might need to be like stitched, sewn up. I had stitches here actually a long time ago. Can't really see the scar now, fortunately. I had an accident and bashed my head on the corner of my coffee table right between the eyes. It was horrible. Horrible. And everyone assumed that someone had hit me, which is not what happened. But hey. The final thing today, words ending with AGE. Words with more than one syllable, I should say. So, idge, like the idge in fridge. So, for example, image, image, luggage, luggage, Hmm. Huh. Okay, yeah, so there are loads in the chat that I'd missed previously. Let's, yeah, suture. So literature is an interesting comment. An almost perfect giveaway for many accents of English. Yeah, the way it's pronounced differently. Yeah, because in North America it'd be more like literature, I guess. Ligature. Sinister word. Yeah. Nature. Yes, nature. Picture. Picture. Torture. Yeah, torture. Creature. Creature. Yeah. Dentures. False teeth. Dentures. Hmm. Ah, yeah. Yeah, language. Language. Acreage. Acreage. Shortage. Shortage. There's a shortage of I don't know what are there shortages of at the moment. Sensible people in the world. Damage. Damage. Courage. Yeah, courage. Mileage. Mileage. What's the difference between baggage and luggage? That's a good question. Is there any difference? Your luggage are your bags, and your baggage are also your bags. I don't think there is any difference. Baggage. Baggage can be used in a figurative sense as well. So I think that generally speaking, they're synonyms, except that sometimes we refer to emotional baggage. Like, so emotional baggage or just baggage in this figurative sense is like past relationships. Past relationships that kind of, maybe you have problems trusting people because you were cheated on in the past, for example. That would be classed as emotional baggage, something you carry with you through life from your past that still impacts you. So that's the only difference. So, like, we wouldn't say emotional luggage, but in terms of the physical object, then they're exactly the same, or objects. Both uncountable nouns. In the time of Shakespeare, baggage was was an insult to a woman, like an annoying woman. You might say, "Oh, you sort of, yeah, ridiculous old baggage." But no one would say that nowadays. That's very old-fashioned. Yeah. Village, nice. In a village. Roughage, yeah, fiber. Eat your vegetables. You need to get plenty of roughage. Vintage, yes. Vintage. Average. Yeah. Leakage. Is luggage more formal than baggage? I don't think so, really. Which one do we use more in what do the airlines say? They say, what's your luggage allowance or your baggage allowance? Your luggage allowance, I think, is what you hear from the airlines. Yeah, I don't think there's a difference in formality. Not to me, anyway. Footage. Yeah. Ah, shortage of common sense springs to mind. I agree. Yeah, cabbage, vegetable there for you. Ah, interesting. So is luggage a British thing and baggage more common in the US? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Let me, I mean, very often, if you check the dictionary, like the Cambridge dictionary, it usually tells you whether a word is more typical, like, or particularly typical when there's a regional difference. It doesn't. Oh, okay. So when I enter baggage, it doesn't say anything about a regional difference. But when I enter luggage, it does say US, usually baggage. Interesting. Yeah, there you go. So this is accurate. Yeah. Italy, you always have interesting insights about language. Yeah. Cottage. Cottage. Beverage. I love this word. A beverage, I got asked this question the other day. A beverage is a drink. It's a general word for a drink. And it's the second thing today to remind me of my favorite film, The Big Lebowski. Um, yeah, the main character, the dude, likes to drink a certain cocktail called a White Russian, and he always refers to it as a beverage. Like he's getting pushed into a taxi at one point with his drink in his hand, and he says, "Hey, man, there's a beverage here," or something along those lines. Yeah, courage and advantage. Yeah, advantage and disadvantage. Yeah. Damning with faint praise. No, I was being sincere. Absolutely. And this one, I don't think anyone's mentioned this one, mortgage. 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 Yeah, Vitali, my mother will tell you that I am not good at expressing enthusiasm. Yeah, it's goes hand in hand with my resting bitch face, I guess. Like I can feel very enthusiastic about something, but it doesn't always come across in the way that I express myself, unfortunately. So people very often think that I'm not excited about something or that I don't have feelings. But that's not true. I'm just not good at expressing them. So unfortunately, yeah, it's a weird quirk about me. People who know me very, very well know when I'm like excited about something, but aside from that, it's hard to tell. Yeah, I'm a strange one. Certainly, but my mum's always telling me, Emma, you need to be more enthusiastic. And I say, well, I am enthusiastic on the inside. And actually, I find it kind of hurtful because she's essentially telling me there that I need to fundamentally change the way that I am. You know, it's like saying the way that you are naturally is not okay. And I can't help it. That's who I am. So cool. This is an interesting word, and I'm not actually sure. I'm going to check this before I tell you how to pronounce it.
Facetious.
Okay, yeah. Facetious. That's a relief. Facetious. Facetious. And this is one of the problems with text messages or with text communication, is that you can't tell the person's intention always in text. I had a boss that I just couldn't text with because he used to get upset with me. He would get offended, and I'm like, "What? Why is he getting upset?" But he would take everything that I said in the text the wrong way. Yeah. Sabotage. Okay, this is an exception. Why is this an exception to the idge rule? Why? I think this word is of French origin, And that's probably why it's an exception. Let's check this. Is sabotage a French word originally? Yes, it is. It's a French loan word. I think I forget the exact statistic, but I think that English is made up of around 30% words of French origin. English is full of them. I have to find out my tell, yeah, and it's not easy. I think I don't play poker, but I'd probably, dare I say it, I'd probably be pretty good at it. Because, yeah, people can't tell what's going on. Yeah, so Hideaki, I mentioned at the beginning, but really I should have written it on the slide. So words with one syllable, this doesn't apply. So the idge rule only for, so I clicked the wrong thing, words of 2 or more syllables. So this word is sage, sage, sage and rage, because it's just one syllable. And sage, you may or may not know, as well as being a herb, also means wise. Sage advice is wise advice. Yeah, tonnage, tonnage. What is this? I don't know this word. It's a new one. Let me look this up. Ah,
Cabotage.
wait, though.
Cabotage.
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 But the Cambridge Dictionary actually has this written as cabotage. But I don't know now if that's, let me check a different one. A legal term, apparently. This is legal English. I'm going to copy this definition for you. Because this is new for me. So, is this French as well? Cabotage? A set of laws made by a government of a country to prevent or limit the transport of goods or people within the country's borders by foreign vehicles, ships, or aircraft. I wonder, let's see, is cabotage a French word? Let's find out. Yes, it is. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Sabotage.
Pottage.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, pottage. I don't think I've ever had, have I had pottage? A thick soup or stew. This word, I think we'll make this our last one because we've been sort of going for an hour and a quarter. So this will be our last one. Interesting. So this one depends on where you are from. So it can either be schedule. If you're traditionally in British English, this is like schedule, as in the in shoes, schedule. In North American English, it is schedule, schedule. Schedule, schedule, yeah. although the second one there looks more like a ch. So I'll put the phonetic transcription. So schedule. Schedule. Is it an or an oo? Is it sort of an oo? It's like a long sound. So schedule versus schedule. Yeah. So I say schedule. However, this is one of these words that I think with the, in England, we watch so much American television, there's a bit more crossover. So you quite often hear British people say schedule as well. So I think either one, schedule or schedule, is common in England, while I'm pretty sure schedule is dominant in the United States. And yeah, another one here, idge, marriage. Marriage. Indeed. Yeah. Okay, one more. Tuition. Let's put the phonetic form in there. This one actually is different depending on whether you're in the UK or the US. So this is the British. And let's get the US, North American one as well. Okay, so here we go. In England, we begin with a ch sound, tuition. In North America, it's not a chew, it's a tuition. Tuition fees in England, tuition in the US. So there we have it. Cabot. Interesting. Cool. Right. So that was the last one, yeah. So that's it, guys. Time to crack on. But thank you very, very much for joining me today and for bringing your words. And yeah, perhaps we can do another one of these sometime. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if you'd like to. And yeah, massive thank you for joining me, and massive thank you to my channel members as well for supporting the channel. It really does make a big difference. So yeah, if you'd like to sort of become a channel member, you can find out about that in the description. In fact, that makes me think next week's live stream, I'm not 100% sure because I'm actually on holiday from Thursday. I'm going away. It's my birthday next week. I'm going away to celebrate with old friends. So I'm not sure about the live stream, but I think next week's live stream will be the monthly members only live stream. And but it won't be Thursday because I'm away. So I'll need to update you on that. Keep an eye on the community page. And yeah, we'll do it on a different day. Goodness me, it's getting dark. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Thank you. And yeah, have a fabulous evening, whatever you guys are up to, or whatever time of day it is. And I'll see you again very soon. Yes, I plan on it. I don't get away very often. So, and actually I haven't seen this particular friend who I'm going to see for like 3 years. So really looking forward to it. Yeah. Cheers. Bye, everybody.